Wherever you are and however you may be listening, we are live coming to you directly from Washington D.C. We are live, and I'm excited to chat with you today. My name is Hassan Riggs. I'm the founder and CEO at Smart Alto. I'm gonna wait till a couple of people join here in a moment. It is 2 Eastern time where I am in Washington D.C. It's a great day outside. I'm actually in my home office in my studio right now. Um, we've been doing a lot of Facebook Lives, a lot of training over the past couple of days, and we got another great training for you today. Welcome to 2 Cents, where I come on and share my 2 cents around how to generate leads, how to convert leads, how to grow your business. We're going to talk about over the past couple of months, we've talked about how we help CJ Evans go from 0 to 2 million um, dollars per month in sales in a little under 3 years. How we helped Fred McGill go from 0 to 250 homes sold in 3 years. We've talked a couple of days ago. Rob West was on talking about how to double your business in 2020. It was a fantastic call. If you haven't seen that, go back into the Facebook, the Real Estate Marketing Mastermind group. Watch that call with Rob West. He's a fantastic agent. Actually, he's been in the business for 2 decades now. Most people don't make it 5 years. He's been in the business 2 decades now. He was an agent, he was a team lead, he was a broker. Now he's back in production. Down in Orlando, Florida area as an agent again, growing his team out, building that business up again, doing a whole bunch of business, starting from a place of strength because he has the knowledge, because he's invested in training, he's invested in coaching, he's invested in people who's invested in him. And so go back and watch that training that we had with I had with Rob West um, only a couple of days ago. Had a training a couple of weeks ago with Steve Jolly, who talked about the principles, the systems, and tools that he uses to grow his business. I know he has Sierra Interactive, which is a great CRM that we talk about a lot. So on 2 Cents, we talk about a whole lot of stuff, right, to help you grow your business. If you don't know who I am, my name is Hassan Riggs. I'm a former inside sales agent. I personally set over 10,000 real estate appointments. I'm a speaker at NAR. I spoke at NAR this past year about how to build better customer relationships through digital marketing. I've spoken at Inman before. I'm a contributor for Forbes, where I write about real estate marketing, real estate technology trends, how to set appointments through text message. And I say all that not to impress you, but just to impress upon you that I'm an expert in this space. So you're in really good hands. If you're brand new to the group, welcome. If you're a longtime fan of the group, then thank you for coming, consuming. But I'm also going to ask you to contribute. This is what I call a WWN, a What's Working Now community, a What's Working Now community, right? So we're going to talk about what's working now in businesses, in businesses for the top individual agents, teams, and brokers all around the country. We're going to talk about what I do in my business that can translate to your business. We're going to talk about what I did as an ISA to help people, to make people rich and help them build wealth. So if you are just joining, make sure that you put in the comments, say hello to me so that I know who you are, so I know that you're there. There's a little button up top that says we're broadcasting with Ecam Live. You can hit that button, and when you comment, you will be able to see. I'll be able to see who you are because I will be answering questions throughout the course of this presentation. Give me 1 second while I drink this. Mm. So today we're going to be talking about the banter principle, and really how to grow your business, how to convert more leads, how to double your sales, triple your sales, quadruple your sales, and still keep your time and money freedom. Because we're all looking for time and money freedom, right? There's no use in growing but losing your time with your family, your kids, your wife, your husband, and you basically working all the time because you're always in the grind and you can never actually take a step back to work on your business as opposed to working in your business. So we're going to talk about the banter principle today. We're going to talk about the fortune framework, which is a framework that I developed years and years ago to help me kind of understand my business, where we were, help me understand because I've done digital marketing for Hilton, I've done digital marketing for Abbott Laboratories, I've done digital marketing for my own business, I've done digital marketing for real estate agents, for mortgage professionals. I've been in digital marketing and outside sales, the balance of my career. It was a time where I did. like mergers and acquisitions and business development stuff. But I've spent the majority of my career in digital marketing and sales, and so we're going to talk about the Fortune framework and how to use that as an audit. We're going to get into that in 1 second. So let me know that you're there. I'm excited to chat with you today because we got a great show. My name is Hassan Ritz, coming to you directly from Washington, D.C. So I am going to go ahead and hop right in. I'm going to share my screen in one moment because we're going to talk about the banter principle. Uh, Cancel that and share my screen here. Okay, so um, how to grow your sales with the banter principle. This is a topic that is really near and dear to my heart. I love talking about this topic. I love talking about banter because once people understand banter, it changes the way they do business. Right? It changes the way they think about their business. It changes the way they communicate with online leads. It changes the way that they structure their sales teams and what they have their sales teams working on every day, right? So you got to have your goal, you got to have your strategy, and then you got to have your metrics down because your metrics are the way that you know whether or not you're winning or you're losing. And so once you have your mission to metrics, your goal is your mission, your strategy is your direction, and then your mission and your metrics will help you know whether you're winning or losing. You can then begin to develop frameworks and systems and implement people and processes in order to grow your business in a way that doesn't put so much strain on your time freedom, right? So we're going to talk about the banter principle and what that actually means. Let me click here. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Hassan Riggs, founder, CEO of Smart Alto, contributor for Forbes. Um, Speaker at NAR, speaker at Inman, and right now we're broadcasting into the real estate marketing mastermind group. I got my light up here, I got my light here, I got a light here. There's another light right here, and then we'll have my DSLR camera that I am streaming to you from. And so one of my favorite quotes is, "If you're still doing business today the way you were a few years ago, I got two words for your Radio Shack." And that's because the world continues to evolve, it continues to train. You should always invest in yourself. You should invest in learning. You should invest in training because if not, then you're just going to be outdated and you are going to be left behind. So if your conversions are stagnating or declining and you're not growing at the same rate that you were a couple of years ago, it's because the world has changed and you either A, haven't noticed, B, you have noticed and you haven't changed with it. And I have no sympathy for the people who the world has changed. They've noticed it, but they haven't changed along with the world. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to audit your business with the Fortune framework. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Fortune framework, what that means, how you can use that in your business to understand what steps you need to take, where the biggest holes are in your business, and then how to move to the next step, right? So how do you move from step one to step two to step three to step four? How do you do that? You first got to understand where you are and what you need, right? So is it a messaging problem? Is it a mindset problem? Is it a is it a discipline, direction, and metrics problem? Is it a people processes and systems problem? Like what problem do you have? And then how do you move to the next phase by filling the gap? Right? We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about how to convert leads and make money with the banter principle. That's what we're going to spend the majority of our time today talking about the banter principle, what that means, how we use it in our business, what you need. We're also going to talk about what information you need before you call a lead. One of the things that has changed over the years is that people are walking around with a cell phone in their hand, but they're not actually talking to people as much now over the phone as that they used to. So how do you go about still getting in contact with those new leads within a time frame that makes sense, right? Obviously, you know speed to lead. Obviously, you know you got to follow up often. When do you call a lead to use your valuable time and actually speak with folks? And then when they're going to talk about the M&M experience, right? And how to keep people coming back, doing business with you over and over and over again. And so now, the fortune framework. What does this mean? So I want you to think about this fortune framework more of as an audit, as a way to audit your business, as a way to understand in your business where you are today, what you need today, where your biggest problems are today, and then how you can move to the next step to continue to grow and whatever your goals are, right? So that can be to double your business. It can be to go from 25 homes to 35 homes. It can be 35 homes to 70 homes. It can be 70 homes to 140 homes. It can be, maybe you just want to grow by 10%. Whatever your goals are, you got to understand your goals are, right? But the first step is just understanding where you are within the fortune framework, where you are within the business audit, because it's hard to move to the next step if you don't even know where you are, what you need, what your problems are, what gaps you have, right? Is it a people gap? Is it a technology gap? Is it a mindset gap? Is it a marketing gap? Is it a just simple testing gap? If you don't know what your gaps are, what your problems are, it's really hard to get better. And so what we're going to talk about now with the fortune framework, I developed this framework first in my in my own business to help me understand what it is that we needed to do in order to grow, and then ultimately ended up teaching it. It's one of the things that even coming up at NAR, I'm going to be talking about quite a bit over the next couple of months. And so the fortune framework, what does this mean? On the y-axis, that's the axis right here. On the y-axis, this is your conversions, right? Think about this as your conversions. Low conversions, high conversions. That's it. This is just the volume of leads that you take from stranger to client to friend. What percentage of people are you taking, successfully taking from stranger to client to friend? That's the y axis. The x axis is leads. What, how many leads are you getting? Oh, I'm getting over the flu. That's just like the residue of it. Hmm. I'm actually over it now, but I'm still coughing a little bit. So, how many leads are you getting? What volume of leads are you getting? Are you getting a very few number of leads, or are you getting a bunch of leads? Right. So that's the way we look at this. It's a simple two by two framework. Simple two by two framework. Are you getting very few leads? Are you getting a lot of leads? Are your conversions low? Are your conversions high? That's it. Think about this as this fortune framework is an audit to understand where you are. So let me explain this for a moment. Okay, so if you are not generating a lot of leads, you're not generating a lot of leads, and you are not converting the leads that you generate. So you're only generating 10 leads a month and you're not converting any leads. You've got a problem. What's that problem? A D cubed problem. That's what I call it. D cubed. When you're not generating a lot of leads, you got no leads, you got no conversions, you're not making any money, you've got a problem. And it's a D cubed problem. What does D cubed stand for? You need the desired direction and discipline to know what to do, how to do it, and when to measure yourself. Right now, you don't even have the the basics set up to run a business. Ultimately, you don't have a business. You got a hobby. You don't have an ink mindset. You got a me mindset. You don't have an ink mindset. You're not running a business. You're running a hobby. It's like a project. You're in real estate sales, but basically doing it probably part time. If you are doing it full time, you're definitely not making any money. So you're going to be part time because you're going to have to go get a job to supplement your income. And the problem that you have is you don't have the desired direction and discipline to know what you want, how to get it, and how to measure yourself. We call this mission to metrics. mission to metrics. That's what it is. It's a mission to metrics framework. You need to start off with your desire. What is it that you want? What's the higher purpose of the reason you got into real estate sales? You got into mortgage sales. What's the higher purpose? What's your mission? What's your goal that you're trying to accomplish? That's your desire. It's really hard to grow. It's really hard to grow when you can't envision what it is that you want, when you can't envision a better future. So you need to start off just understanding the basics. What's your goal with this thing? What's your mission? What's the higher purpose that you want to achieve? And that everyone who works at your company, when you start building a team and ultimately you get a brokerage, what's the North Star that you have? If you don't understand what the North Star is and which direction you're going, which direction you want to go, what your ultimate goal is, you're screwed. Because it's going to be really hard to motivate yourself, especially on the down times when the market changes. It's going to be really hard to move and take that next step to grow. So you got to start off with understanding your desire. What's your goal? And then you need direction. How do you get your goal? How do you accomplish it? That's your strategy. You need a technology strategy and you need a go to market strategy. What's your technology and your go to market strategy is going to help you accomplish your mission. You got a goal, you got a strategy. What's your technology strategy? What tools and systems are you putting in place to help you reach and accomplish your goal? What's your go to market strategy? Who's helping you generate leads? Who's helping you follow up with leads? What's your CRM? What's your go to market? How are you positioning yourself in the marketplace? What's your go to market strategy? You haven't figured that out yet. And so if you haven't figured out what you want, then you don't have a strategy to get there. Ultimately, you understand why you're not making any money. But then you also need the discipline to know when to measure yourself and to often measure yourself. This is the biggest thing that I see most people don't know. Even people who are making a lot of money, they're not measuring themselves. They don't know their numbers. And because they don't know their numbers, they're not able to effectively and efficiently test, iterate, tweak, grow, change, evolve, test, iterate, tweak, grow, change, evolve, test, iterate, tweak, grow, change, evolve. They're not able to evolve because they don't know what's working and what's not working. One of your main jobs as a business owner, and trust me, as a real estate agent, you are a business owner, you're an entrepreneur just like me. One of your main jobs is to understand where to invest your resources. But it's really hard to know understand where to invest your resources when you don't know what's working and what's not because you're not measuring anything. If it's worth doing, it's worth measuring. The same way when you were in school, whether you went to college or whether you just went to grade school, they always told you if it's worth attending class, it's worth taking notes in class. Because if it's worth your time to actually be there, then it's worth your time to actually try to remember what you've learned. Just like this. If it's worth doing, then it's worth measuring. And if you're not measuring it, then you don't know whether it's working or not. You just have assumptions or hypotheses on whether or not it's working, but you don't actually know. So if you don't have this, if you don't have the basics, I'm going to check back in with you. Within 2 weeks, if you don't have the basics of this, you are a bad business person. Because it's one thing to not know that you need this, but it's an entirely different thing to know that you need it and still not do it. You're a bad business person. There's really no other way to get around that. I'm going to give it to you straight. Can I push back a little bit? Is it okay if I push back? I want you to win. I want you to be successful. But if you don't have a good foundation, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So at Smart Alto, what we do is we qualify leads and we set appointments for real estate agents, teams, and brokers all around the US and Canada. Our goal is to set quality 15-minute phone appointments on your calendar. So you wake up in the morning and you're like, wow, I'm talking to John Smith at 1. I have an appointment with Jane Smith at 5 p.m. And tomorrow I'm talking to Will Smith at at 3, and I'm talking to to Julie Smith Thursday at 5, right? So we put quality 15-minute phone appointments on your calendar. That's our goal. The strategy that we use to do that is the BANTAR principle. BANTAR, the BANTAR principle. That's the strategy that we use to put appointments on your calendar. And then the metrics is how much time are we saving you and how many appointments are we putting on your calendar, ultimately to help you make more money. So we have the desire, direction, and discipline. We have the desire because we know what our goal is. We have direction because we know what our strategy is. And we have the discipline to measure ourselves time and time again. This is step one. Again, if you don't have that, if you're not generating a lot of leads and you're not converting leads, you got no leads, no conversions, you got a D cubed problem. DQ. You need the desire, direction, and discipline to know what to do, how to do it, and when to measure yourself. All right? That's step one. That's step one. That's the fortune framework. Step one. Hmm. Okay. Now, let's say you're not generating a lot of leads, but you've got really high conversions. You get 10 online leads per month, but you know what? You're converting at like 50%. Or 20%. That's a high conversion rate. You're converting at 20%. What problem do you have? You got a sales and marketing problem. You need to work as hard as you can to get more leads because you're converting well, but you just don't have enough leads. You're not generating enough leads in your business. That's the problem that you have. You don't have enough leads. You've got great conversion. You've got a sales and marketing problem. You need to go find someone to generate leads for you, or you need to learn how to generate your own leads. You need to take a training, you need to get a course, you need to do something to learn how to generate your own leads. I've got some great recommendations for you if you're trying to generate your own leads. If you're trying to work with other people to generate your leads, I've got some great recommendations for you as well for that. Just put it in the comments, say, hey, Hassan, I need to learn how to generate more leads because I'm great at following up. I'm great at converting leads. I respond to leads 24 hours a day within 2 minutes. I'm responding to leads all day. I'm text messaging leads. I'm setting up my own appointments. I'm closing deals. I've got the follow up down. I just don't have enough leads. I've got a big problem generating leads. The reality is, the conversation around how to generate more leads is old and tired and fatigued. It really is. The real conversation needs to be on how do you convert those leads into quality sales appointments so that you can close more deals. If you're not generating a lot of leads and you've got high conversions, you got a sales and marketing problem. And you need to fix your sales and marketing problem to double, triple, quadruple your business this year. Okay? Now, if you are generating a lot of leads, but you've got low conversion, man, you got 100 leads a month on Facebook, 150 leads a month through Google. You're sending them to Chime, to your IDX on Chime, on Sierra Interactive, on IDC Global. You got something, right? You're generating a bunch of leads. What's going on, Samantha? How are you? You said you need more leads. You got high conversions. Great. So we'll talk about that. And I'll make sure immediately after this, I pop into the Facebook Live on the Real Estate Marketing Mastermind Group, and I give you some recommendations on where you can generate more leads if you already have high conversions. So let's say you already, man, you are doing great at lead generation. You got your IDX set up, Real Geek, Sierra Interactive, Chime, your IDC Global, uh, Moxie Works, whatever it is. You're doing great at generating your own leads, but your conversions suck. You don't have a text message marketing game plan. You're always out talking to clients, reviewing contracts. You're always out doing something else. When a lead comes in, you don't have time to respond. You're late. You think a fast response time is like 10 minutes. You think a great response time is 5 minutes. you're outdated. You don't know how to follow up. You don't have a text message marketing game plan. You don't have a calls game plan. You don't have an email game plan. Maybe you do, but it's really ineffective. It's not working. You call people, they don't answer. You text people, they're not responding. You email people, it goes to spam. You have no idea how to follow up, and you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Ultimately, what you have is a leaky bucket. You got a PPS problem, people, principles, and systems. You got a PPS problem, people, principles, and systems. If you give people systems without principles, then you've given them chaos. Let me say that again. If you give your people systems without principles to guide and work those systems, then you've just given your team chaos. So you need people, principles, and systems in order to make this work. People, principles, and systems. And one of the things that I talk about quite a lot is OPM. OPM. You need to use like in in real estate, people say OPM and they're thinking, oh, I know what I need. I need other people's money. No, no, no. With the fortune framework, OPM means you need other people's manpower. This is when you will be it's a great time to start working, seeking out companies like Smart Alto. A company like my company, Smart Alto, we can help you convert leads into 15-minute quality phone appointments so that you can close more deals. We can help you do that if you're generating a lot of leads because we have people, principles, and systems, right? You can just use ours. You need OPM. You need to use other people's manpower to get the people, principles, and systems in place to help you convert more leads because that's the problem that you got. You've got a bunch of leads, but your conversions are low. So you got the problem of people, principles, and systems to help you convert leads. That's where you need to start working with a company like Smart Alto because we'll help you take those online leads that you're getting from Zillow, Facebook, Homes.com, Realtor.com, and convert those leads into quality 15-minute phone appointments because you've got a problem. People, principles, and systems. Go back and watch the Facebook Live I did with Steve Jolly a couple of months ago because he talks about the principles, the systems, the tools that he uses in his business to grow. Steve and his wife, they're down in Nashville, Tennessee. They do a bunch of business. I believe they use Real Scout, they use Sierra Interactive, they use Smart Alto. They use a couple of tools in their business in order to take leads and convert them. Steve even uses our website chat now, right? So again, let's recap. You got no leads and no conversions. You got a DQ'd problem. You need the desire, direction, and discipline to know what to do, how to do it, and when to measure yourself. You've got no leads, but you've got high conversions. You got a sales and marketing problem. You need to understand your unique value proposition in the marketplace. You need to generate more leads. You need to position yourself as a thought leader. You need to teach people because teaching people builds trust. I did a Facebook Live not long ago talking about the relationship between teaching, speed, and trust. When you teach people, they trust you and it speeds up transactions. So if you have a lot of folks who they're slow to do business with you. You're making recommendations. They're not taking them. You get on the phone. They always seem they want to get off. You got a trust problem. The best way to build or close that trust gap is to the best way to close that trust gap is to teach people because when you teach people you build yourself as an authority figure. When you're an authority figure, people trust you. When people trust you, they just do what you say. They don't think about it. And so transactions speed up. If you're generating a bunch of leads but you got no conversions, you got a PPS problem. People, principles, and systems. You can't give your people systems without principles because then you've just given them chaos. So you need OPM. You need to work with a company like my company at Smart Alto to use other people's manpower because we already have the people, principles, and systems to help you grow. So if you are generating a bunch of leads and you are converting at a high rate, then now you need to test, iterate, and duplicate. You need to duplicate yourself. Testing, you need to learn, you need to grow, you need to evolve, you need to test your marketing, you need to test your conversions, you need to iterate on it, make changes, duplicate the successes, get rid of the losers, and grow, grow, grow. That's how you help, Fred McGill go from 0 to 250 homes in 3 years by working on this right here, testing, iterating, and duplicating. Okay, so what's BANTAR? We just talked about the fortune framework. What's BANTAR? And why is it important? So, one of the major mistakes that people make today with online leads that, 10, 15 years ago, this was okay, but now it's really outdated, is when a new lead comes in and the first thing you do is call that lead. The reason it's outdated because how often how often do you answer the phone when you think it's somebody trying to sell you something? Or a telemarketer. I literally just got off the phone. We're thinking about going. We're examining going into some other markets like painters and contractors, people who work with Home Advisor. And I was just talking to one of my buddies. He runs a really big um, paint contracting company in Birmingham, Alabama, and he just expanded to Tampa, Florida. And we're talking about helping him grow. So we're setting up a pilot with him. He did $4 million last year, right? And so we're trying to help him grow this year, potentially even double his business. And we're talking about, he said, man, while we're on the call, someone called him. And he was like, man, I wish you could build a system that helps me block all these telemarketers. And I said, think about what you're saying. When someone comes through Home Advisor, the first thing you're doing is calling them. And you're telling me that you're mad when someone calls you, but you're calling people. And it's because the world has changed and it's evolved. I remember back in 1995 when I first got my first email address, I had AOL, I believe. There was no such thing as spam. Anyone who sent me an email, I would open it up, I would read it. Now I get 100 emails a day, 99 of them are spam. Right? I try to delete that stuff. Why? The world has changed and you need to evolve with the times. So there is a time to call leads, but it's not when the lead first comes in. The time to call leads is what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about the banter principle. The B, again, think about Smart Alto, right? Our goal is to set 15-minute quality phone appointments for you. The strategy that we use for that is the banter principle. And the metrics that we use save you time of putting those 15-minute phone appointments on your calendar. So what do we figure out? Banter, BANTAR. The B stands for budget. We want to know this person's budget. Is it a $150,000 first-time home buyer or is it $3 million luxury buyer? This is all the information that my team at Smart Alto that we figure out on your behalf before you even call someone. But even if you don't use Smart Alto, you need a system in place to figure out this information from people. B stands for budget. You need to know their budget. $150,000 first time home buyer, $3 million luxury buyer. You need to know their budget. Authority. Authority. Is the person you're talking to just a decision maker? I mean, they're just an influencer in the decision making process, or are they actually the decision maker? Is it mom and dad who's looking for their 23-year-old son who has no money? Is it brother and sister who's looking for, you know, somebody? Or is it husband and wife who's looking to buy because they're expanding their family, they're looking to upgrade? They are the ones buying it. They are the decision maker because you should only get on the phone with decision makers. If you're talking on the phone with someone who's not a decision maker, most of the time you're wasting your time. That the only time that's not true is when it's like a s- an adult who's calling for their elderly parent. That's when, okay, the person you're talking to, they're probably the decision maker because they're looking to sell mom and dad's home because mom and dad is 80, 90 years old now. That person is still the decision maker. Although they may not own the home, they're still the decision maker. That's the person you need to talk to. Authority. The B stands for budget. The A stands for authority. The N stands for need. You need to know their needs, wants, and expectations. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 4 bedroom, 7 bath, house with a pool, house with a yard, house with a fence, right? You need to know. I got young kids. I need a house with in a really good school district. I need to stay next to this church because I love to go and contribute to my community. What's their needs, wants, and expectations? Ultimately, what are their goals? What are they trying to accomplish? Can you help them accomplish that? You need to know that. T stands for timeline. What's their timeline to buy? Is it 3 days, 3 months, 3 years? It helps you prioritize that person in your mind. What's their timeline to buy? Because if someone is looking to buy in 3 years, why are you going to call them now? Automate the follow up with them. Text message them once every 6 weeks just to stay in touch. Why are you going to call them now? It makes absolutely no sense. The most the most ineffective and inefficient thing you can do is call someone when you don't know anything about them. You don't know if it's the right person or whether it's someone who put in bad information. It's a fake telephone number, it's a fake name. You don't know if the person is looking to buy or sell. You don't know if the person is at work right now or they're out with dinner with their husband or wife. You don't know anything about it. You're just calling, you're blindly calling. It's the most inefficient thing you can do. You need to know their timeline. 3 days, 3 months, 3 years. When are they looking to buy? A stands for area. What area are they working in? Are they looking to buy in? Is it an area you know? Is it an area you know really well that you're familiar with where you can actually provide a good service to them? Or is it like an hour and a half away from you and you've only been to that area once? Can you actually help this person? Are they looking at downtown condos? They're looking at suburban single family homes, the townhomes. What area are they looking in? Then relationship. What's their relationship with a lender? What's their relationship with an agent? If they don't have a relationship with a lender, they haven't been pre-approved. If they already have a buying signed a signed buyer's agreement with an agent, you can't help them anyway. So why are you calling them? It's the difference between someone who says, "Yeah, I got an agent," versus someone who has signed a buyer's agreement. That's a difference, and you need to know the difference. Most people, when they say, if you ask them, are they working with an agent, they'll say no. Some people will say yes, but the reality is they just got a friend who's an agent. They're not 100% committed to that person. So you need to figure that out before you call. Now, at Smart Alto, our goal is to get 4 to 5 bits of information. Banter, BANTAR. And then based upon what we get, we'll set that 15-minute quality phone appointment for you. So you pick up the phone knowing that you're going to talk to John Smith at 1 p.m. today, and you know their budget. You know that they are the authority or the decision maker. You know they want a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and a side in the area of town that you work, and they're not working with a lender right now, so they haven't been pre-approved. That gives you the confidence to pick up the phone and call that person and confirm some information as opposed to having it be a total 100% discovery call. It saves you time, it saves you energy. You have got to implement banter within your sales process and try to automate this in some way, either with people, with OPM, other people's manpower, or doing it yourself through text message, through email, something before you get on the phone and call this person to figure out this information. You can do it through banter. All right. So let's talk about the magical and magnetic experience. So I talk about this a lot. Many of you know I used to do digital marketing for Hilton, and so I worked in the hospitality industry, and I learned a lot about selling, like giving people a luxury experience, even though they may not be luxury buyers, right? So because I supported the Waldorf, I supported Conrad, but I also supported regular Hilton brand properties, and I supported your um, your Hilton Garden Inn, for example. So from Hilton Garden Inn all the way up to the luxury full service and luxury properties, I supported all of those with digital marketing. And I can tell you that there is a way for you to create an M&M experience, a magical and magnetic experience that keeps people coming back, keeps people coming back. So the first way is you need to be highly anticipatory. Um, when I was when I growing up, I played basketball, and my coach used to tell me, Hassan, you're a good player, but your greatest asset is not your talent. Your greatest asset is your availability. If you're unavailable, I don't care how good you are. Doesn't matter. You can't help the team win. If you're always hurt, if you're always unavailable, if we can never get in contact with you, you're no good to the team. Same thing with you as a real estate professional. If a new lead comes in and they want to chat with you, but you're always unavailable, you can never answer their questions. You can't talk when they can talk. You can't chat when they can chat. You're not available for any appointment. Your greatest asset is your availability, and you are unavailable, meaning that you're missing out on a lot of business. And you're not creating a magical and magnetic experience that keeps people coming back for more and more and more. The only way you can be highly anticipatory and have your greatest asset being your availability is through OPM. It's through working with someone and using other people's manpower. So you can be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You got to be highly anticipatory. In real estate, this also means you got to respond to people within 2 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with those online leads. And you got to follow up often. You got to be there fast. You got to be there often. You got to be there highly anticipatory to be there to chat when they want to chat. Number two is personalization. You need personalization because personalization is greater than generalization. And personalization is not just saying, hi, and hi, my name is Alex, or hi, John, and like just mentioning their name. That's not only what personalization means. Personalization is listening to people, is listening to them, and actually responding with specifics in a way that lets people know you stopped. Stop, look, and listen. You stop, you look, you listen. You stop and you pay attention to what they're saying. And when they communicate with you, you respond in a way that lets them know the advice you're giving is personalized. I see that you're looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath in Winter Park. I was wondering, could we have a quick chat so I can customize this list of homes for you in the Winter Park area because I know they have a lot of townhomes over there with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. But there's also a lot of homes that may not fit your criteria, and I found some off-market homes that could fit it. So would you mind if I send this list over to you? That's personalization. You got to be personalized. Personalization over generalization. Number three, attention to detail. Attention to detail. This kind of goes along the same lines of personalization. By understanding what people need when they need it, by paying attention to detail. When people say they have kids, they need a good school in the neighborhood, don't send them a list of homes where, you know, the grade school is a C or a D. They've obviously told you that they want homes in good neighborhoods. You need to pay attention to detail. If someone tells you they work between 11 and 3, don't call them, but you ultimately only end up calling when you're available, and that's at 2 p.m., that's not paying attention to detail, right? And you're not creating this magical and magnetic experience. Number four, reading clients. This is a really important one because you don't need to over service and you don't need to under service people. You don't need to over service and you don't need to under service people. Right? Because if you over service people, then, like for example, one of the things we used to talk about at Hilton a lot is that when someone shows up, and they are, um, you get out and you're going to a luxury building like the Waldorf, the people will say, "Do you need me to help you with your bags?" That's what the attending will say. If you say no, they're not going to ask you again. They're not going to ask you, "Do you need help with your bags?" again, because you've already said no. Instead, they're going to read you. Because you have these bags in your hand, they're going to go open the door for you. So they're going to solve your next problem. It's called it's called next issue avoidance. Next issue avoid. I've asked you a question. Do you need me to help you with your bag, sir? You say, no, I don't need you to help me with my bags. So I'm going to solve your next problem, which is because you have these bags in your hand, you can't open the door. I'm going to go open the door for you. Next issue avoidance. That's what you need. So when you're dealing with leads, when you're dealing with clients, don't just solve their current problem, solve their next problem too. That's how you build a magical and magnetic experience to help people coming back. So, how do you put this all together? One of the things I'm going to share with you is our website chat. So, the Smart Alto website chat is how one of the ways you can put this all together and use other people's manpower to create this magical and magnetic experience with the banter principle, because with our website chat, this goes on your website. So if you're getting 100 leads a month to your website, people are going to your website, you're using Chime, you're using Boomtown, you're using Sierra Interactive, IDC Global, Real Estate Webmasters. If you're using any of those services and you have a website and you have an IDX and you're getting people to go to your website, or if you're generating online leads through Facebook, through realtor.com, through homes.com, then ultimately Smart Alto can help you set 15-minute phone appointments on your calendar using the banter principle, creating that magical and magnetic experience, and ultimately measuring the success. Are we closing deals for you? Are we not? So with the website chat, you can see this is totally customizable, right? So you can see the chat over on the right hand side. Hi, we're the Reds team. I can just say, hi, we're the Jones team. And it changes right there. Pretty cool, right? We're here to help you find your dream home in the DC area. I'm going to put the Virginia metro area, the Washington metro area, the DC metro area, anything I want to put right there. And then I have this proactive chat that's on. Proactive chat means that once you go to someone's website, after 5 seconds, it will pop up. It looks beautiful on mobile, right? You can see what it looks like on mobile. Looks beautiful on mobile and it looks great on the desktop. But it pops up and it tries to engage people and it says, "Hello, how may I help you?" Or, you know, I'll put, for example, just take that out. "Hi, my name is Alex. How may I help you?" And then you can see with the conversation view, we just changed that. "Hi, my name is Alex. How may I help you?" This is being what? Highly anticipatory. It's being available all the time, popping up, engaging people. And then we have this animation blinker, which keeps people engaged and lets them know that you're always there to help them. This is how it looks on one of our clients' websites right now. So you go to a website, this website chat is down here in the bottom right hand corner, I believe. I believe this website is built on Sierra Interactive. I'm just going to hit this little chat button down there and boom, just like that. "Hi, we're the True Group. Find your South and Central Florida home." And just like that, I could start communicating and chatting with someone right now, and our team of real people, our ISAs, will immediately come back and start responding. It hits all the buttons that we've been talking about, right? Highly anticipatory, personalized, reading the guest, understanding how to engage people, keep them coming back, creating that magical and magnetic experience, and using the banter principle so that we can figure out when that lead comes in, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through Zillow, whether it's through website chat, whether it's through Boomtown, Sierra Interactive, Trulia, it doesn't matter, that we're able to convert that lead into a quality 15-minute phone appointment for you using the banter principle. I'm more than happy to help you. May I have your name, please? Nice to meet you. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? What area or neighborhood are you interested in? How many bedrooms do you need? Um, what price range would you want to stick? Does this all sound familiar with the banter? Budget, authority, need, timeline, area, relationship with agent, relationship with lender. It's helping you figure out and find out all that information so that we can do it for you and you don't have to. That's the Smart Alto system. If you're interested in learning more about that, then please just put something in the comments or reach out to me directly through DM. I know a lot of people are going to do that. Reach out to me through DM, and I'll be sure to get with you. So we just talked about a lot of stuff. We just recapped, right? So let's take a recap really quickly. We talked about the fortune framework, how to understand where you are in your business, how to gauge what the main problems that you have in your business, how to grow your business, how to fill those gaps. If you're generating no leads and no conversions, then you've got a D cubed problem. You need the direction. I'm sorry, you need the desire, direction, and discipline to know what to do, how to do it, and when to measure yourself. If you're generating no leads, but you've got high conversions like Samantha, then you got a sales and marketing problem. And after this, I'll go in and put in a couple of recommendations on where you can find some really good lead generation services. If you're generating a lot of leads but you got low conversion, you got a PPS problem. You need people, principles, and systems, but you can't give your people systems without principles. And so you need to work with a company like Smart Alto so that we can help you increase your conversions. We can help take those leads that you're getting and put them into 15-minute quality phone appointments for you. And then if you're generating a lot of leads and you got high conversion, then you got a testing, iterating, and duplication problem. You need to test, you need to iterate, you need to duplicate your success, eliminating the waste, finding out what works, honing down on that, and doubling down on it. So we talked about the fortune framework. Then we also talked about the banter principle. This is how we qualify leads for our clients, and it's the same way that you need to qualify leads for your new leads that come in. So before you call, you need to figure out as much banter information as possible: their budget, authority, need, timeline, area, and relationship. Figure out as much banter information as possible, and then we talked about the magical and magnetic experience, highly anticipatory, being personalized, attention to detail, and reading guests, and how you can accomplish all that with Smart Alto, either through the website chat service that we have or just through our regular service, our text message marketing service. Because if you don't have a text message marketing game plan, then you definitely need one. So, what are we going to talk about next week? We're going to talk about how to revive old leads in your database. I know there are a lot of people with old leads. We just started responding to Rob West, his old leads. He sent me a message yesterday, really excited about how we set 4 appointments for him in the very first day. He's super excited about our old leads program. I'm going to walk and share with you how we can set 15-minute phone appointments with your old leads. But even if you don't use Smart Alto, how you can go in and start more conversations with your old leads to close more deals. We're going to talk about how to set up and structure your CRM. Most of the CRMs I take a look at, they're awful. They're not structured the right way. You're talking about hot leads, cold leads, nurturing leads, which means absolutely nothing to anyone except you. We're going to talk about how to move people, how to set up your statuses in your different stages, and then how to move people through those different stages, and ultimately how to make your database objective, personalized, and scalable. I just wrote a Forbes article about this. I'll put that link down in the chat here in a second. But that's what we're going to talk about next week. The life stages: subscriber lead, MQL, SQL, opportunity, client, and evangelist. How to move people through different phases of that funnel, right? And ultimately, how to set up definitions and descriptions and what you need to know to move people to the next phase. So, one thing that I'm going to ask is that if you enjoy this presentation, then please review me on Google. I'll put this in the chats as well. Review me on Google. One of my goals this year is to write for Fast Company or Inc. One of That's my goal, my strategy for doing that is not only to submit quality articles, but also have a lot of reviews on Google of people who've reviewed me who are saying, hey, this guy Hassan, he's legit. He gives a lot of helpful content. He helps people. He helps me out. He helped me grow my business. So if you would please do me a favor, if you've enjoyed this presentation, if you've liked it, whether you're watching it live or watching it after, if you would take this link right here and you would review me on Google. Just review this presentation. How did you like it? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was great? Did you learn something from it? And be specific in your review. It doesn't have to be very long, but that would be super helpful. Before we go, one of the things I want to share is give a little short plug to Smart Alto, because if you visit Smart Alto results, you will see how we help our clients, grow their business. Lewis right here, sales shout out. He's closing deals. Heather Bennett, one of my favorite people in the world. We helped her grow her business. Very first lead was a $450,000 qualified lead. We helped Tamika Star within her first 3 weeks gross $13,000. I know that she ultimately ended up grossing like an additional $40,000 using Smart Alto. Patrick Beasley, Scott Johnson closed 2 deals like the very first month, 3 deals the very first month with Smart Alto. No, no, I'm sorry. In 3 months, he closed 3 deals, 2 closings on Friday. Francis, first lead, $650,000 qualified lead. I could talk to you about Austin Kepley or Brenda Berner. I could talk to you about Evelyn Holmes, who closed 2 deals. Heather Bennett again. Ian. I could talk to you about all these people. JJ, Keith, Luis, Mary Hill, Michael. There's Mike Nelson, Suzanne. There's Tamika again. Um, Barry, CJ Evans. I know we helped him go from 0 to 2 million $2 million per month in sales. Missy, Nancy, like this goes on and on and on with the people who we've helped them grow their business time and time again. So again, my name is Hassan Riggs. I appreciate you showing up today to learn about the BANTAR principle and how we qualify leads and set 15-minute quality phone appointments and how you can do that in your business today. You've been great. I appreciate it. Don't forget to show up. I'm going to get that next webinar scheduled in the next couple of days, and we'll be talking about some more. We'll be giving you some more training over the next couple of days. But again, I'm about to sign off. I got a call in like 4 minutes that I got to hop on. I appreciate you showing up, and we're going to talk. Thank you for showing up for 2 cents. Again, my name is Hassan Riggs, founder, CEO of Smart Alto. I would truly appreciate it if you would review me on Google. And if you're interested in learning more about Smart Alto, just shoot me a message, and I'll follow back up with you soon. Thanks. Talk to you soon.